Okay, I'm going to try and do some quick examples here doing operations with mixed units. So we worked recently changing from like mixed units to what I call small units. For example, we might have something like my height. I say I'm 6 feet 2 inches tall. Whoops, 2 inches tall. But that is the same as 74 inches. But now we're going to do operations here where we're going to take these mixed units, we're going to add, we're going to subtract, we're going to multiply. That'll be this video. Also, eventually we're going to do division. But before we do that, what I'd like to point out to you here is that if you go to Moodle, and you might already be on Moodle if you got to this video, but if you go to Moodle and then you go to your pre-algebra Moodle class, and under the measurement section, there's a link that's called, operations with mixed units. And that'll open up some flashcards. And it's a website that I created, and as such you have options. You can choose which operations you want to practice. You can choose, there's 3 options for what units you want to deal with. So I strongly encourage you to check that out. Get lots and lots of practice doing these operations with the mixed units. So the first example we're going to do here is we're going to do an addition problem. I'm just going to do 3 examples, and all 3 of them we're going to use the conversion rate of feet and inches. So we've got 1 foot equals 12 inches. That's the conversion rate we want to keep in mind. And this first problem we're going to do, we're going to do an addition problem. So if you remember, 15 feet 6 inches, that's one measurement. And we're going to add that to another measurement of 8 feet 9 inches. Personally, I like to set my my addition up vertically. Okay, so there we go. And notice how I've lined up inches on top of inches and feet on top of feet because I want to add my inches to inches and my feet to feet. Starting out here is very basic and straightforward. We're just going to start 6 inches plus 9 inches. If you really need to use a calculator on this, it's okay. But 6 plus 9 gives you 15. 6 inches plus 9 inches gives you 15 inches. And then our 15 feet plus our 8 feet will give us 23 feet. Okay, so pretty basic and straightforward to start with. But now what I want to keep in mind is this conversion rate. Because anytime I get up to 12 inches or more, I can do what I call cashing in. I can cash in 12 inches to get another foot. Just like with money, American dollars, if you have 4 quarters, you can cash in 4 quarters to get $1. So that idea of exchanging, it's an equal exchange, it's an even exchange. If you give someone 4 quarters and they give you $1 in exchange, it's an even trade. Or if you give someone 12 inches and they give you a foot in exchange, it's an even trade. It's just you're changing units is all you're doing. So with my 15 inches, I say that's more than 12. It's 12 or more. So what I can do is I can take away 12 inches, but at the same time, when I take away the 12 inches, I'm going to get a foot in exchange. Okay, so I'm giving you 12 inches, but I'm getting a foot in exchange. Just like if I give you 4 quarters, you would give me $1. So now what I'm going to have, that 15 inches I had, I'm cashing in 12 inches. Now I'm down to 3 inches. But I get an extra foot. So I had 23 feet, and now I add a foot, and now I'm up to 24 feet. Okay. So this is my final answer here. When I add these 2 measurements, I get 24 feet 3 inches as a final answer. 3 inches is not enough to get another foot, so I'd be done there. But it's very similar to the idea of 4 quarters for $1, or even like with whole numbers. If you do something like 15 plus 28, and you say, okay, 5 plus 8 gives me 13, but wait a minute, I'm going to write down the 3 and I'm going to carry the 1. It's a similar idea to that. It's just that we're not doing groups of 10 here, we're doing groups of 12. Yeah, so that's addition. That's one addition problem. We're going to do a subtraction problem next. Okay, so we're going to stick with this conversion rate of feet and inches. 1 foot is 12 inches. And then our subtraction problem here, we're going to take a measurement of 18 feet and 6 inches, and we're going to subtract a measurement of 8 feet 9 inches. And again, I like to set this up vertically. Okay, so now when I try to subtract, remember, just like with whole numbers, we start in the ones place with whole numbers. When we subtract with these mixed units, I want to start with my inches. I want to start all the way on the right. So I want to take 6 inches, start with 6 inches, and I want to subtract 9 inches, or 6 inches, take away 9 inches. And hopefully you recognize you can't do that. If you think it's 3 inches, you are mixing it up. It is not 3 inches. 3 inches would be if you started with 9 inches and you subtract 6 inches. Okay? Remember, with subtraction, the order matters. So we can't do 6 inches minus 9 inches. We simply don't have enough inches there to take away 9 inches. So what can we do? We can come to the 18 feet and we can borrow a foot to make this 17 feet. Okay? But now here's where you got to be careful. It's not going to become 16 inches. That's a common mistake. It's not going to be 16 inches. Instead, think about what we're borrowing. We are borrowing 1 foot. Okay? In the addition problem, we were able to cash in 12 inches to get a foot, just like we said you could cash in 4 quarters to get $1. Well, here we're going to go backwards. You could cash in $1 to get 4 quarters in exchange. What we want to do, though, is we want to cash in 1 foot. We're going to borrow a foot, and in exchange we're going to get 12 inches. So the 6, we're going to borrow a foot, which is 12 inches, so we're going to do 6 inches plus 12 inches. That's going to become 18 inches. Okay, so that's a common mistake. People think it's just going to be 16, like with whole numbers. I go, no, you're borrowing a foot that's 12 inches. Okay, so that's a key thing to identify, or to recognize right there. And now we can do the subtraction. Now we can do 18 inches, take away 9 inches. That's going to give us 9 inches. And then we can do our 17 feet minus our 8 feet would give us 9 feet. Okay, and now if you want to double check, 9 inches is not enough to get another foot. We would need 12 inches. So this is going to be our answer right here. 9 feet, 9 inches. Alright, so again, this idea that we borrowed a foot, but that's 12 inches. That's why we got 18 inches instead of 16 inches. 6 inches plus 12 inches is what we had there. Okay. Now, last thing I want to remind you of on the subtraction problem is that we can check our answer by adding. Okay, anytime you do a subtraction problem, any subtraction problem, you can check this by adding. So what I'm going to do here real quick is I'm going to take, remember it's going to be these two things. It's going to be the 8 feet 9 inches that I subtracted plus the 9 feet 9 inches of my answer. When I add those together, I should get the original 18 feet 6 inches. So I'm going to set that up real quick. Okay, so here I go. My 9 inches plus 9 inches give me 18 inches. Whoops, let's put it on the pencil. Give me 18 inches here. 9 inches plus 9 inches is 18 inches. And then 8 feet plus 9 feet will give me 17 feet. And then when I'm doing addition, I can say, okay, I can go backwards here. I can cash in 4 quarters to get $1. I can cash in 12 inches to get a foot. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to cash in 12 inches from my 18, but in exchange I'm going to get an extra foot. Okay, and when I do that addition, I will get 6 inches that I'll be left with, but now I'm up to 18 feet, and I check that against the original number, and I go, yep, that matches. So my answer is still right here. My answer to the subtraction is still 9 feet 9 inches, but remember, you can always check by adding. Okay? So it's still this idea, just like with addition, we're exchanging $1 for 4 quarters, or 4 quarters for $1, a foot for 12 inches, or 12 inches for a foot, same idea. Okay? We're going to do one more example here with multiplication. So once again, using the same conversion with feet and inches, now our problem is we're going to multiply 4 feet 9 inches multiplied by 5. And now one thing you want to note here, whoops, again, switch to the pencil. One thing I want to note here is the 5 here has no units. We might just say it's 5 groups. So maybe, or 5 objects, 5 items, and they're all the same, they're all 4 feet 9 inches. So maybe this is like a piece of wood, a board or something like this, and the length of this is 4 feet 9 inches long. But now I go, oh, but now I'm gonna have 5 of these things. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, and these are all supposed to be the same length. And I put them end to end, and I say, okay, what's the total length? So this 5 has no units. It's not feet. It's not inches. It's I would just call it 5 groups. 4 feet 9 inches. 5 groups of that. Okay. But once again, I'm going to set this up vertically. And here, just like with multiplication, if this was like 49 times 5, I would do 5 times 9 and 5 times 4. So I'm going to do it the same way. I'm going to start with 5 times 9 inches, or 9 inches times 5, and that's going to be 45 inches. Okay, that's a 5. 45 inches, because it was 9 inches times 5, and now 5 times 4 feet, or 4 feet times 5, is going to give me 20 feet. So 20 feet, 45 inches is my initial answer. But now, just like with addition, I'm thinking to myself that, well, just like I can cash in 4 quarters for $1. In this case, I can cash in 12 inches for 1 foot. And if you want, you can do that. You can say, okay, well, let's cash in 12 inches. Oops, pencil again. Let's cash in 12 inches, but then add a foot. And what you're going to find is that you'll be left with 33 inches. You could cash in another 12 inches. That's inches and inches. You could do this several times, and you can do that if you want to, but I'm going to do this a different way. I'm going to have what I think is a quicker approach here to change my 45 inches. So if you remember, in class, at least recently, we just did an activity where we took something like 45 inches and we said, that's equal to so many whole feet, and then maybe so many inches left over. And there's various ways to do that, but I know that the 45 inches by itself is going to give me 3 whole feet with 9 inches left over. So that's what the 45 inches is. I can exchange those. They're the same. So now I can take the 20 feet and I can add that with the 3 feet, and so that'll put me up to 23 feet. And then I'll still have those 9 inches left over. So that'll be my final answer here for this multiplication problem. I don't want more than 12 inches, or rather, I don't even want 12 inches, because anytime I get up to 12 inches, I can cash that in. So 45 inches, ultimately you can get 3 feet out of that, and you'll have 9 inches left over. So your 20 feet gets 3 feet more, so you're at 23 feet, 9 inches. So I hope this video was helpful for you. In your blue packet, you can keep working ahead. I can't remember which pages. I want to say it's pages maybe 3 and 4 that you might look at. But somewhere in your blue packet, you're going to have problems like this where you're adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. Okay. And remember, there's also that link on Moodle with operations with mixed units where you can do these flashcards and try that out.